Is left, rather less than 30 days left before the closing of applications for the 2019 student funding. Applications will close officially on the 30th of November 2018. The National Student Financial Aid Scheme, NSFAS, is calling on all young South Africans who have not yet applied for 2019 financial aid to submit their online applications or to visit their nearest National Youth Development Agency centers before the closing date. Applications opened on the 1st of September 2018 to anyone wishing to further their studies in 2019 on an approved course at if you want to apply for the year 2019 at any of the institutions, any university or any TVET college in South Africa. Let us now take this discussion further with NSFAS Administrator, Dr. RANDALL CAROLISSEN. Dr. CAROLISSEN, good afternoon to you. It's good to see you.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for coming through. I think you've now been in office for over 2 months, and the last time we had a discussion with you, things were a little bit dear in terms of the backlog in payments. How are things looking now?
I'm very pleased to say that we've addressed most of the backlog and that most students are now doing what they're supposed to be doing, writing the exams. There are still a few outstanding issues that we're working on, but I'm very happy to report that most of it, we've disbursed almost 4 billion rand from NSFAS, and we've unlocked almost 10 billion rand at the institution. So most students got their funding for 2018 and 2017. We are now hard at work at the 2019 season.
Great news indeed. As you say, now you're looking into the new applications with what, less than 30 days to the closing date? How has the response been?
Well, we have received over 200,000 applications so far in a short time period. Last year, this time, it was only 90,000.
So that's the online applications? Online
applications. All applications can be done online. So if you're close to a Wi-Fi region or within a Wi-Fi region, then you can apply. It's very easy to apply. We've tested with students, with high school students. It takes less than 5 minutes. But if you do have problems, you can dial a toll-free number and we'll be able to help you then.
And I do remember very well, Dr. CAROLISSEN, that at the beginning of this campaign, NSFAS actually came up with a number of initiatives to make the application system much more easier. You had upgraded your online application, but you were also using the National Youth Development Agency centers, for the prospective students to be able to access them. How have things been?
Well, we're using a number of channels. The National Youth Development Agency certainly is. We are also using the universities. We are using community centers. We are using even constituency centers of some of the parliamentarians. We're working with students. They are our biggest ambassadors. They are going out to universities. But I think important that for me to also mention one particular channel which most people don't know about is that if you're a SASSA part of a SASSA household, or an orphan, or in foster care, then then the economic qualification is waived. In other words, you qualify almost immediately. So you don't need to have proof of income in those categories. Okay. So once we receive confirmation that you are in a social benefit situation, then we can process your application quite fast. And to that end, we have a partnership with Social Development Program, Department of Social Development. So we established a whole host of interaction channels. We've just written to the unions, for instance, to encourage them to use their infrastructure to get to prospective students.
My worry exactly, because you still have matriculants who are sitting for their final examinations now and not knowing anything about NSFAS, and they don't even have the necessary financial means to further their studies. How do you go about reaching your deepest rural areas where none of them have heard of NSFAS?
Well, we have deployed senior managers throughout all the regions, and they are working with communities. We'll be stepping up in our campaign, especially to get into the rural communities. We are encouraging everybody that is prospective student to apply even before they finish their exams, because their eligibility you will qualify the minute you registered at university. So it's best to finish your NSFAS application now so that we have you on your records. The issue of the rural areas is indeed a problem. But our campaigns will now be aimed more to get into the rural areas, more than the urban areas that we've concentrated on before. So we'll be going on community radio stations, we'll be reaching out through community newspapers, and we'll be stepping up the campaign quite comprehensively over the next month or so.
All right. And I was actually reading your feedback now. Of the 150,000 applications that NSFAS has evaluated so far, about 30,000 of them did not meet the necessary requirements. Let's just talk about those requirements.
Most of the 30,000 means that there are documents that are outstanding. It's not that they didn't meet the qualification. So perhaps it's good to just repeat what documents we require. We require the certified identity documents of the prospective student and the parents. We need a consent form from the parent that we can verify and validate the income, and then of course a pay slip from the parent to show that they are earning under 350,000.
So in the event that there is no pay slip, you provide a letter from SASSA?
Well, the letter from SASSA will suffice for those category of students that qualify that particular...
That are beneficiaries. Okay.
But very important, if the parent is unemployed, we don't need a payslip, of course, because there won't be a payslip. So a lot of people don't understand it. So we write back to the students, but it's important that we receive your application. We can deal with the documentation as we go along.
All right.
So the 30,000 is mostly students that have one or two of these documents outstanding.
Okay, so but you do let them know if there are shortages of documents in that regard.
And it's important that they keep their contact details current.
Unchanged.
Yeah, so that we can get hold of them.
And you know, I've been there. I know that in January there is always so much drama that happens during registration. Most of our students with a confirmed bursary offer, what should happen to them? Should they pay their registration fees next year, or how does it work in this regard?
So if you're a NSFAS student, you don't need to pay your registration fee up front because NSFAS takes care of that. So it's therefore important, even more important now, given that parents and students realize the quicker they get into the NSFAS system and make sure that they qualify, the easier it is for them to then get into the university environment. Of course, we can't guarantee entrance to the university. You have to have the requisite entrance. You must meet the requisite entrance requirements. But at least if you have completed your funding application, it's already a big step forward.
But Doctor, will there be an extended window period for the 2019 applications?
We try not to, but you know, in these circumstances, there's always a room for exception, but we try to get most people to register as early as possible because it makes our lives easier to administer and it makes their lives easier to have comfort that they are in the system.
But for now there isn't. You're not looking into that possibility.
We'll keep our options open, let me just put it that way.
All right, now let's leave it at that. Thank you so much for coming through, and I suppose we'll have more of these conversations so to get the message out to the prospective students out there. Thank you so much for coming through.
We'll be happy to.
All right, many thanks there to Dr. Randall Carollissen. Of course, he is the administrator for the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, so you can, apply online, as they said their website.
www.nsfas.org.za.
All right, well, there you have it.
And the 088 number is 08000 NSFAS.
08000 NSFAS, www.nsfas.org.za for your applications. We're taking a quick ad break here on SA Today. When we come back, we'll take a look at some sports news.